Where am I? I know it's following me. I can feel it. That sound. It's coming from the river. If it catches me, it will show no mercy. I know it's hidden somewhere in this forest. I should be able to see its light soon. At last, I can gather my strength and plan how to face that monstrous thing. John Morley, private detective, and today is a momentous day. After enduring the most exquisite tortures at the hands of those blasted nurses, and being pumped full of enough medicine to fell an ox, today I'm finally free. Who would have thought that the case of the Red Shoes murder would end the way it did? A stormy night, soaked to the skin, wrestling that brainless killer on a rooftop. Then a slip and a 5-story plunge.
It appears you're awake at last. We had considerable difficulty rousing you earlier this morning, so I deemed it best to let you rest a while longer. I bring you good news. The latest test results are favourable, and the doctor has authorised your discharge. You are now officially ready to go. I have placed your belongings on the table. Oh, and a lady stopped by this morning with some clothes from the dry cleaner.
My belongings? I thought everything was already in the room.
There are a few valuables and some coins we kept for safekeeping. They are in the box on the table.
A woman brought my clothes from the dry cleaner. Was it Penny?
I couldn't say. She arrived quite early, before my shift began. I've placed the garments in the wardrobe to keep them from getting wrinkled.
So I'm better now?
Yes, you are much improved. Both your physical and psychological assessments have been satisfactory, and there are no impediments to your returning to your normal life.
I've been having nightmares.
The doctor has prescribed some medication that should help address any residual effects. This should assist in alleviating your nightmares. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have other patients to attend to. I wish you all the best.
I better get dressed. The hospital looks brand new. I usually use the whip. I should get myself a pair of derbies. So the mystery woman who took my clothes to the cleaners was Penny after all. Seems she's still got a soft spot for me. Could there be a... Blimey, what a fool I took onto that rain-soaked pavement. And to top it off, with that downpour, I ruined my best suit. But, Blimey, it's nearly noon. I must have lost track of time in those blasted nightmares. Trench coat and fedora hat. Every detective's must have. That's me, the bloodhound Morley. Story of my life. Nearly broke. I'm not ready to leave just yet. This note's from Penny, my secretary. Damn it, Penny. I don't blame her, though. I'm a right mess. I've managed to lose the only two things that... I'd better hurry up. Just like Penny says in her note, I might have a new client this afternoon. And with the way things are going, I can't have... All right, let's get moving. Today's the first day of the rest of my life. Back again. Feels like stepping into a forgotten paradise. Everything's got that same old charm, and yet feels oddly new. Here they are. Penny's keys. Just like it says in her note. This case is worth its weight in gold. Everything you need for a portable lab. My files. Cases, clients, debts. This one's a favorite. The jealous lover solved everything with a few blows from an ashtray. Brutal, but effective. Even the coppers missed it. The slant on the letter E. Penny's desk. So this is Peter. That smug grin's got "punch me" written all over it. The case of the Red Shoes murder. The murder weapon from the cadaver collector case. Nasty business, that one. My desk, strangely tidy. Normally it's buried under papers, notes, bits of evidence. Penny must have wanted to leave everything spick and span before... well, before she walked out on me. Another one of my cards. But this one has my last name circled. The drawer. It's locked. But there doesn't seem to be a keyhole. The Scarlet Page. I trust Penny didn't go snooping through my things while I was away. Oh, my apologies, madam. I didn't hear you come in. I was a bit distracted.
Good afternoon, Mr. Morley. I trust your assistant informed you of my visit as promised.
My apologies. I was rather engrossed and didn't notice your arrival. To whom do I owe the honour of this meeting?
Lady Margaret Fordside, the 4th Countess of Bloomsbury.
Lady Margaret, could you tell me what brings you here today? How can I assist you?
I shall endeavour to be as candid as possible. 20 years ago, when my daughter was just 18, she was brutally murdered. It happened at our family estate, Bloomsbury Manor. Someone slipped into the house unnoticed, and upon reaching her room, delivered 5 fatal stab wounds to her chest, lungs, and heart. The police, eager to close the case, hastily blamed and condemned 2 violent thieves who clearly had nothing to do with her death. The investigation was closed, and justice was never served. I am prepared to offer you £30,000 if you take on this case, and a further £30,000 if you can solve it and bring the true killer to light. Tell me, Mr. Morley, will you accept this case?
I understand your distress, Lady Fordside. But before I commit to anything, might I trouble you with a few questions?
By all means, Mr. Morley. Ask whatever you must.
A case that's been cold for 20 years. You certainly don't make it easy for me, Lady Margaret. What made you decide to seek out a detective now?
For over 2 decades, I've fought tirelessly to have the case reopened, to prove that the real murderer escaped justice. But all in vain. Neither solicitors nor well-meaning police friends, nor even journalists hungry for a dark story have managed to uncover anything. Then one day, I read about your success in solving the case of the Red Shoes killer. Regrettably, I also learned of the unfortunate incident that left you hospitalized with grievous injuries. On the advice of your secretary, Miss Penny, I waited patiently for your recovery. And now, here I am.
Tell me about the men the police arrested. Why are you so certain they weren't guilty?
2 days after the murder, the police arrested a pair of violent thieves who were terrorizing the county at the time. Though they swore their innocence in my daughter Elodie's death, their criminal record completely undermined their defense. Seizing the opportunity, the police locked them away for their other crimes, and the case was closed. But what has always struck me as suspicious is that nothing was stolen on the night my Elodie was killed. If those thieves were truly the culprits, why would they murder her and then leave without taking a single piece of silver? It doesn't add up, Mr. Morley.
Tell me about Bloomsbury Manor. Do you still reside there?
After Elodie's death, I abandoned the estate. I couldn't bear to remain there, to live within those walls. Even now, when I visit the manor, it still feels as though I can hear her footsteps echoing through the halls, her voice humming that old melody, the delusions of an old woman who has mourned her daughter for far too long. Mr. Morley, no mother should ever have to bury her child. Should you accept the case, Bloomsbury Manor would likely be the best place to begin the investigation. I shall not impede your work, as I now reside at Bedford Square, in the heart of the city.
Tell me, were there any witnesses? Did anyone see or hear anything?
It happened at midnight. The house was practically empty at the time, with only a few servants and a guest who was sleeping in the west wing. I was the only one who might have heard something, as my room was next to hers. Unfortunately, I had taken a sleeping draught and fell into a deep slumber. It is a decision I shall regret for the rest of my days.
Well, I believe I have all the information I need to get started. I accept the case, and will begin the investigation immediately.
I'm pleased to hear that. My butler will bring you the £30,000 tomorrow morning. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have matters to attend to. Once you uncover the culprit, contact me at once, and I shall promptly deliver the remaining £30,000. Please, Mr. Morley, unravel this harrowing mystery that has tormented me for so long.
As I made my way through the dense forest path, A haunting silence enveloped the air. It was as though the very night of the crime still lingered here, shrouded in an eerie calm. The manor stood before me, its facade as inscrutable as the shadows that danced in the moonlight. Every step I took felt like a step deeper into the heart of a mystery that refused to be forgotten. Not a sound. The stillness feels heavy, like it's hiding something. It seems Elodie had a passion for art, but her style, a blue moon, fitting for a place haunted by its own secret. Looks like the countess left this for me. It could be useful for getting around the place. Looks like this is the Fordside family book, showing some of their ancestors. So, the housekeeper left a note for the countess, asking her to meet here on the day of the murder. I wonder what truly happened during that encounter. Very well. Let's piece the events together, step by step. A globe resting in a beautiful wooden stand. Lipstick stains. Same shade the countess wore when she visited my office. An empty envelope. Looks like someone arranged tea in the library that day. The housekeeper's cup is still here. Tea spilled across the table. She never got to drink it. The door's chained up with a padlock. Looks like I'll need to find the key. Two chairs. One of them knocked over. It seems they met here. But something went wrong during the conversation.
I am very angry. After all these years of service, this is how you repay me? Walking away like this?
I'm sorry, madam, but the situation has become unbearable. My bags are already packed.
The Fordside family crest. A rampant dragon. The lock has been concealed. This door must open by some other means. The Countess threw the housekeeper out in a fit of rage. In her haste, the housekeeper forgot one of her bags. What was it that unsettled the housekeeper enough to abandon her post so suddenly? Lady Fordside, still seething, burned something in the fireplace. The housekeeper resigned. Seems something, or someone, troubled her greatly. Enough to break the long-standing family tradition tying her to this place. It seems Lord Fordside was a renowned sculptor, though his works were somewhat sinister. This must have been some sort of private study for the countess. Elodie was committed to a psychiatric facility, but she supposedly recovered from whatever ailed. Lady Margaret and a young woman. I suppose it's Elodie. They look happy. An old pocket watch. A British passport. Lord Fordside was undoubtedly a man of the world. This looks like the key to the main hall. Could be my way into the heart of the house. This door is locked as well. If the countess wanted me to investigate, why didn't she leave the doors open? Layers of dried oil paint, left untouched for 20 years. It's as if time stopped the moment Elodie laid down her brush. Feels like the room's holding its breath. Lady Margaret took special care to secure the house, restricting access to certain areas. Looks like some sort of clue. This door appears to lead out to the back garden, locked with a padlock. A man with his back turned. Looks like the last painting Elodie was working on, the sinking of a ship. A grand ship on the open sea. Some of these paintings are really dark and sinister. A young woman screaming in the middle of the darkness. Locked, as expected. There's a metal engraving. Those poor souls. Tragedy seems to have cast a long shadow over this family. A boarded-up door. The access to the servants' quarters appears to be blocked for some reason. Something definitely happened here. Was it a struggle? These broken chairs. Someone must have held them to the ground with great force. Some of these tools have been bent, likely trampled over. Looks like the crowbar is broken. A good way to motivate the staff. A backgammon board. One of the oldest board games. Miss Marver apparently knew her way around the tarot. What a dreadful spread. And what a chilling omen it revealed. Evil approaches. It will bring death, and lay ruin to the house and all who dwell within. The young maid was an avid fan of actor Valentin Rudolph. What a collection of posters from his films. A doll pierced with an awl. A warning? No doubt. This is the cook's room. A pair of blood-stained scissors stuck in the sink basin. Deeply unsettling. Lady Margaret, after the death of her daughter, dismissed the staff and left the mansion. Is there someone else in the house? Who the devil is that man? He had a knife. I'm completely in the dark here. I don't think he saw me. Looks like a commercial This must be the Countess's handwriting. What was she searching for? Another boarded-up door. The question is, was it sealed before the murder? This must be Walter Brandon's room. A compass and a sextant. Tools of an empty bottle. It's the diary of Walter Brandon. Perhaps it holds some clues about who he was, and what his involvement in this case might be. I
terrified that man has found me. I fear something dreadful is about to happen. Tonight as I awoke, I saw him, standing at the foot of my bed. I could not make out his face, but his knife, the gleam of its blade, shone in the darkness. I sprang up suddenly, determined to confront this stranger. Grabbing the heavy candlestick from the nightstand, I hurled it with all my strength. He vanished into the dark.
What on earth happened? Did Walter also see the mysterious man with the knife? It's absurd. This occurred 20 years ago. Surely that man can't still be lurking about. Can he? A model ship. Mr. Brandon must have felt a deep yearning for the sea. The painting of a ship, unmistakably in Elodie's style.
Coming here was a grave mistake. He has followed me, watching and lurking in dark corners, waiting to surprise me. I dare not tell Elodie. She would think the one thing I dread most for her to believe. I see him again from the window, watching me. His long hair and beard obscure his face, and he still holds that knife. He means to kill me. I am losing my faculties. It is best I return to the ship. Everyone seems to be conspiring against me. The housekeeper despises me, accusing me of misconduct. Perhaps I'm not a man of refinement, but I know what respect is. Yet this morning, as I awoke from my rest, she was enraged with me. It was of no use to tell her I had slept peacefully. An external maid who comes to clean was crying and accusing me of having approached her in an unseemly manner. I would never do such a thing. I am a sailor, a man of the world. I know how to conduct myself.
The last entry in the diary, dated the very night of the murder.
My beloved Elodie, why can you not believe this poor sailor who only wishes to love you? I have left everything behind. My ship, the sea, all my world, just to be by your side as you asked me to. Damn it. I can hear the man with the knife coming up the stairs from the hall. I need to hide.
Walter was terrified. What in the devil was happening here? It seems this trunk was a photograph of Elodie. No doubt Walter cared for her deeply. Looks like the key to the back garden. I better head back to the staircase gallery. Pretty sure I saw a door to the outside there. Seems I'm not the only one with a fondness for hats. The killer likely fled through the rear door of the house. at that old fountain in the garden, now little more than a basin of stagnant water, one can still make out the faint impressions of bloodied hands. It seems almost certain the killer stopped here, in a hurried attempt to wash away some of the blood spattered across his body. Here's the missing kitchen knife. Undoubtedly the murder weapon. It's clear that the man who killed Elodie discarded his blood-stained clothing during his escape. Despite his injuries, the killer rid himself of anything that might incriminate him before fleeing the scene. The boots, the coat, even the knife. It's a chilling thought, but those very items remind me of the figure seen lurking near the manor, the same figure Walter Brandon spoke of with such dread, and perhaps the very one who was said to have harassed the maids. This ought to do the trick for that boarded-up room upstairs, just by Walter Brandon's room. Lord Fordside was a gifted artist, no doubt, but his work betrayed a dark and tormented soul. This unfinished fallen angel stirs in me a curious sense of unease, almost repulsion. A sharpening wheel. Lord Fordside likely crafted his own chisels. Unlabeled liquor bottles. The damp and the passing years have likely worn away whatever once marked them. There's a distinct scent of wormwood, the plant at the heart of absinthe. Thujone, its active compound, could provoke hallucinations. Visions said to come straight from the goddess Artemis herself. The door is locked. I'll need to find the key. Him again. Who the bloody hell are you? Where's that man gone? This room looks like it belongs to a woman. The bed is made. The countess hadn't yet gone to bed. It's a damn fine bottle of wine. Seems Lady Margaret was reading in the chair that evening. The book's still open, right where she left it.
This is a nightmare. I am deeply concerned for Elodie. The housekeeper has long been warning me about Walter. I have made some inquiries, and nothing is as it seems. Elodie remains blissfully happy with him in the house. I am at my wit's end. Since her return from the sanatorium, she has been positively radiant, a true beacon of light. They go out together and seem to have a splendid time. He appears very close to her. This is in stark contrast to the picture painted by the housekeeper, which is a complete contradiction. Last night I heard him scream. He seemed to be in the throes of a panic attack. I approached on tiptoe to the guest quarters, and then suddenly I was struck with terror. An insane, maniacal laughter echoed through the night. It did not sound like him. The following morning, Walter and Elodie went out to sail on the pond. Everything appeared normal, and he was the most charming he has ever been.
Something made of glass has shattered here.
Oh my God, what is that noise? It's coming from Elodie's room.
I should finish gathering all the clues from the countess's room before exploring other parts of the house. The fireplace tools, all knocked over on the floor, and unless my eyes deceive me, the poker appears to be missing.
Oh my God, Elodie!
Lady Margaret, quite agitated, grabbed the fireplace poker and rushed toward Elodie's room. A key, likely the one to Elodie. Lady Margaret lied to me. She hadn't taken any sleeping draught that night. She could have heard the attack and rushed to see what was happening. Why did she hide this from me? The more I investigate, the more convoluted it all seems. There was a struggle here, clear as day. Not a clean break-in. The killer wasn't subtle. A rag doll, tossed on the floor. I'd wager it used to sit neatly on the bed. Photograph of Lady Fordside and Walter Brandon. If my memory serves me right, a pool of dried blood. There's no doubt now. This was the scene of the crime. Judging by the sheer brutality of the crime, we can almost certainly conclude the killer was a man of considerable build. The blood-stained coat, found alongside the greenhouse knife, suggests that the mysterious figure seen loitering nearby may, in fact, be the very same individual who committed the murder. They say the killer always returns to the scene of the crime. But 20 years have passed. Why now? Let's attempt to reconstruct the events, just as they might have unfolded that night, and try to understand precisely what happened. A teacup on the bedside table. Elodie must have lain down that night, perhaps already drifting to sleep. The door's lock, completely broken, indicates someone forced their way into the room, likely startling Elodie awake. Elodie tried to flee, but the killer cornered her near the vanity. She lost her balance and fell, breaking the dresser and chair. The killer dragged her to the bed against her will. In the struggle, one of the vases fell from the mantelpiece. On the bed, the killer stabbed her mercilessly, again and again, staining the sheets with blood. That's when Lady Margaret arrived, striking the killer with the fireplace poker, knocking him away from Elodie. Wounded, the killer fled the scene, but it was already too late. Elodie was already dead. The old Bloomsbury mansion. It choked my thoughts. It had that kind of sadness that seeps into your bones like old damp, and that sudden abandonment, so clear before my eyes, looked like a sinister time capsule. One thing was certain. My next move was to dig up answers about the man with the knife, and about Walter Brandon, the sailor from Westland Asylum, an old, forgotten sanatorium that, 20 years ago, was the scene of a meeting between Lady Fordside and that Brandon fellow. Along the winding, shadowed road leading to Westland Asylum. What I found upon arrival was disquieting. The building, forsaken for more than a decade, remained illuminated. Was it some ancient emergency system defying the passage of time? Or was someone awaiting my arrival? The front door, sealed shut. As expected. Nothing's ever straightforward, is it? Bloody hell, it's pitch black in here. Looks like I've stumbled into what could be the kitchen. Impossible. Locked as well. Damn it. The lantern. It's broken. I'll have to manage without it for now. May. The nurses were genuinely concerned about the aggression of patients. Westland Asylum was a top place in its good old days. I need to find Dr. Sheridan's office.
We must formalize the admission of Miss Lady Fordside. I have her file here.
That girl? What do you think of her?
I don't quite know. She seems a good girl. I do hope she recovers soon.
I know what Dr. Mulder thinks of her.
Oh, don't be wicked.
You cannot tell me you haven't noticed. Have you seen the way he looks at her?
Shh, hush now. Someone's coming.
This file cabinet is now empty. It probably held all the records of the inpatients. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Mr. Morley, is that you?
Lady Margaret?
Mr. Morley, I'm so relieved to hear your voice. I've been trying to reach your office, but I couldn't get through to anyone.
It's awfully late at night, Lady Margaret. How on earth did you know I was at Westland Asylum?
Well, I was already in bed, truth be told. But there was something on my mind. A vital detail I'd forgotten to mention. I called your office, searched for you at the mansion, and when I couldn't find you there, I assumed you might be investigating at the asylum.
I see. Very resourceful of you. Now tell me, what is this detail of such importance?
Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot. You see, the truth is, I'm afraid that you're not alone.
What the devil does that mean? Hello? Lady Margaret?
The girl? How is the girl?
You mean Miss Lady Fordside. Don't worry, that bloke didn't lay a finger on her. But you took quite a knock. This is going to smart.
Is someone there? Damn it. I've got a bad feeling about this.
report. Patient B02. Clark, 45, from Sanderson, is a persistent pyromaniac whose actions have repeatedly endangered both property and life. Despite his seemingly frail build, he harbors an alarming compulsion for fire setting, a tendency exacerbated by intermittent episodes of disorganized thought and incoherent speech under duress. His unsettling, fixed gaze suggests the planning of covert schemes, amplifying his threat. To mitigate risk, he is isolated in a secure cell, thoroughly cleared of flammable materials. His management includes a regimented program of sedatives and antipsychotic medications to stabilize his manic and schizoid symptoms, with vigilant oversight maintained. Internal report. Patient B08, Miss Beatrice Maren, female, 28, reclassified after initial misidentification. Miss Maren presents with severe self-destructive behaviors. She engages in autosarcophagy, self-cannibalism that has markedly compromised her physical integrity, and compulsively ingests her own hair. These actions, driven by deep psychological torment and overwhelming despair, leave her in a perilously fragile state. As a precaution, she is secured in a straitjacket